It's the Treeo podcast alongside Mr. Curbs. I'm your host, Who's Bubble, and welcome back to another beautiful episode. Today we talk about furries and what are they and what do they do and why. I barely know what they are to begin with when I started this episode, so you guys are in for a treat. It's very interesting, and I must say, This episode is educational, okay? You'll learn a thing or two. That's great. That's what we're all about here. Here at the Treeo, we talk about things people are too afraid to answer. So here we are. But anyway, we have merch, guys. Link in the description. Go check it out. And we also have a subscribe button down below, so go click it. And there's not much to it. Enjoy the episode. Sit back, relax, and grab a popcorn after that Trident documentary. Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Treeo podcast alongside Mr. Curbs. I'm your host, Who's Bubble. Thanks for checking in. Welcome to episode 64. It's a pleasure to be here. Curbs, how we doing?
Doing all right.
Okay. It's good to hear. We are talking on the Saturday before Easter, so happy Easter to all of our listeners, and happy Easter to you, Curbs.
Thank you.
And
Happy Easter.
to Floyd, our guest today.
Yep, happy Easter.
So, in honor of Easter, last week we said we would talk to a bunny. Now, I don't think that's humanly possible, but this is the closest we could get. So today we are talking to a furry. They go by Floyd, and I don't know much about a furry. I just know that they dress up and I guess cosplay, but I guess we're gonna find out today. So stay tuned, folks. If you like that, smash like, buy our merch, and
Can they
welcome.
smash like on Spotify?
Smash everything. Okay, that's if you're just tuning in.
Well, what do you mean if you're just tuning in?
If you're just tuning in, folks, welcome. Today.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, Floyd. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you? Who are you?
All right, well, I don't go by my actual name online for obvious reasons, but that's what you can call me, I guess. What about me? I guess I would say that I am pretty average. I'm not born into wealth or any of all that, but I'm not some super I'm not. I wouldn't say. I feel like what specifically about me would I have to share to explain, describe myself, I guess. I
I don't know. You
guess.
could.
Well, I'm into certain things that most people aren't into, like bullion, not bullying, if you're gonna mistake that. Bullion, like gold and silver trade. It's a pretty niche group of individuals who do that type of thing. Um, that's pretty much one of my main things I do besides, school and all of that, because I'm still in school. I'm not a dropout either, so I'd say I've taken the better road.
Barreled an ultimate trident.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you agree. So, okay, well, that's awesome. You like bullying. You like being present here. So what's up with the furry? How did that start?
I don't know. Just honestly, this is a more recent thing in my life. Honestly, you're talking to a relatively new. I'm not saying it's like this was a thing yesterday, but this is maybe a few months ago, honestly. So it hasn't been too long. But yeah, basically, just kind of hit me, honestly. Are you asking me like what made me become a furry? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, really, it was just like one day I was like, huh, I don't find people in fursuits cringe like most people. So I was like, well, not only am I not cringing out at this, I might want to do it myself. And I was like, interesting. There's a whole fan base based around this, and they don't seem to be a toxic community like some I've seen Twitter. But yeah, some communities, some apps, certain specifics are toxic, and I was surprised by the fact that this community isn't as toxic as I really thought it was. Like most people think it is. So really, just kind of like you said, it stuck with me. I think that's the word you used, if I heard you right. But yeah, you're true. That
Hmm.
is true. It really did stick with me more than anything else.
So you found this community, but how did you like find this community? Out of anything you could have done, you chose this. I'm just curious. Like, where? How did
Honestly, I
that?
feel like it was just luck of like the draw. I'm serious on this. Like I genuinely, but I feel like maybe it was just my inner creativity. I don't want to say that's like sounds like cliche, like, oh my, I was such a creative person and I found this beautiful home. No, it was really genuinely just like, yeah, I felt as if I needed to get like my creativity out, and I realized that I had creativity over anything else, which kind of helped me welcome myself into the community. And plus, I'm not like an artistic guy. Like I'm not a great artist, but I am trying my best. So it kind of motivates me to do art, something I kind of wanted to do but never got around to doing it. So that's really basically all I can say on how I joined the fandom, and also how it stuck with me instead of just being like a thing where it's like, oh, this is cool. All right, I'm over it.
So it's like a form of art to you.
It is basically a form of art, honestly.
All right, that's cool. You found something you enjoy. How do you?
Yep.
So it's like you have to dress up. Like, how do you? Do you have like costumes for it?
I'm gonna be honest. I study this myself, honestly, because when I join something, it's not like a hyperfixation problem, but when I do enjoy something like incredibly much, it does so much or something like that. Very few things in my life are like that. Just to start off, first of all, but yeah, I research a lot on the topic just so I know what I'm getting myself into, how to make sure I know certain things if anyone were to complain or say anything like that. And plus, honestly, I'm an online debater. I would self-proclaim myself to be someone like that. So realistically, I have a couple months of experience with talking to a lot of individuals who both don't understand or need help. So it's kind of an interesting thing. So yeah, honestly, it was just kind of, I guess, yeah, you don't really need to cosplay or anything to be a furry. So I've learned that around a third of the fandom, even this is adults, by the way, actually have fursuits.
Yeah, because
A
aren't they like mad
third.
expensive?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Aren't they like mad expensive?
They are mad expensive. Yeah. Mine personally, which I won't buy for the next couple of years because of the age group, the target age group for people with fursuits. They're a couple grand at least minimum 3 grand.
Mm.
Mm.
For full ones. You can get like the head, but these are like custom made. So you can get the head for around $1,000. I would just say 1,000.
Yeah, that's worth it. That's a great investment.
To some people, yes. To me, yes, it is worth it.
You know, what better to spend it on than that?
Mm-hmm.
Something you, I guess, enjoy.
I
Yeah.
feel
Some people
like
don't. Oh, sorry.
people think. Why do people think of it as weird? Like, I feel like it's just like anything else dressing up, right? Like, you could dress up
I love.
as like in the plays, you dress up as characters.
Exactly, and
People
that's why I love this word.
cosplay. People.
Bro's trying to flex that he just saw a play.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really just the same stuff. But there's this word. It's a beautiful word. It's called a misconception. And stereotypes. Those are two different words which mean very broad things, and they are very real things. And I feel like that's where most people assume it's like weird. So if I could like go into detail with this, it's not gonna take too long. I don't want to like run the thing, but so it basically comes to the fact that people think that furries literally identify as animals, and that is a thing people do. And there's a word for it, and it's a separate fandom. It's a separate base entirely. They're called Therians. That is a thing. You can look it up. It's a real definition. It's um, someone who believes that they are not fully human, but rather a species of non-human animal. So like
Hmm.
they could be,
Uh,
and it's mostly spiritual. I'm not gonna lie. It is a spiritual thing where they're like, yeah, I don't believe that I am in. It's not the right body. It's like I don't want to compare that because it's horrible to compare, but like changing genders, it's nothing like that. Like when you look at it through like another lens, but if you look at it through the idea of what they're trying to accomplish, it really kind of is, except it's a lot more spiritual, and they believe that there's a spirit that is literally inside of them that is non-human. So that really is the difference. But it is
Mm,
in fact just them trying to be like, yeah, I'm less human than I don't want to. Yeah, it basically just that. Yeah, I'm less human than a human.
I'm animalistic. Let me flex that.
It's yeah. Some people do take pride in it, and that's fine, just as long as you're not doing stuff in public, which I myself can't stand. But it's fine. You do you. But yeah, there's also this other thing which is different than Therians because Therianism is spiritual, like 99%. The 1% is called lycanthropy. Now there's lycanthropy and then there's clinical lycanthropy. Lycanthropy is just the thought of, yeah, I don't think that I think I'm an animal, but then there's clinical lycanthropy where it can actually cause self-harm because they either want to change into that animal more to the sense that they like want to it's weird. But yeah, like clinical lycanthropy is a real mental illness that is recognized. So
Right,
that's
right.
basically the main misconception.
There's no mental illness involved with furry.
Not nope. Nope. Otherwise, it would be a separate thing. Furry is just someone who is an enthusiastic person or an enthusiast of anthropomorphic animals, which could be through art, cosplay, or just being like, "Hey, yeah, I kind of like this more than I don't know another form of art, surreal art. I don't know."
So, what would you say to all the people that like turn furriness into not safe for work?
Oh yeah, those honestly, as personally, I am not gonna say because it's really comes down to this thing called Rule 34. And I personally am not a fan of when people try and make it their whole personality like, hey, I like NSFW. And that's like, come on, dude, but if it existing is fine, just as long as it's not illegal in any way. Just as long as it's not, because it's gonna exist. You can't get rid of it. I'm not saying I support it. Like, yeah, man, I need more of this, but it's not something I'm like, yeah, man, I'm totally against it, 100%. Everything NSFW is completely and utterly wrong. So I'm basically neutral in terms of that. Unless it's illegal or in any way.
Why is it? I
You
mean,
can't argue with that.
it could
Hmm?
be with anything, Real 34, but like
Exactly.
for furry, it's so
Yeah.
much. I don't understand why it is though.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
what?
there's definitely more of furry, but every
Exactly.
community has like a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's a huge fandom.
Like,
There's hundreds of thousands of furs
who
worldwide.
thought out of anything, let's make the furry the symbol of NSFW? Like, I don't get it. Why that?
I feel like it
Not
wasn't.
this.
Okay,
It
so
might
I'm
not
actually
be
gonna
like
say
the
something. This is
symbol,
actually
but
kind of
it's
ironic.
the other
So
part.
I've noticed this that a lot more non-furries are into NSFW furry art. I'm not even kidding you. There are so many people who are like, yeah, I'm not a furry, but they're just like, yeah, man, dude, I fuck with NSFW, and that's just, I don't know. Honestly, I'm still neutral with that. I can explain, I guess, the interest, and it's mostly just the style and what can be brought out of non-human characters, considering that humanity is one species and there's no, it's just a variety thing. Honestly, it's you do you thing. It's a you do you type of thing. It's very hard to place a real reason, but I honestly, I'm just neutral. Honestly, as long as you're not infringing on anyone, as long as you're not doing anything illegal that could possibly be changing anyone's mind, which thankfully very few people actually publicly announce that type of stuff. You're fine, honestly. Just do you. But you know, I'm basically neutral.
Right.
So yeah, if anyone has any complaints, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're wrong. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're pretty much basically right in this case.
Okay. So, what do you actually do?
Well, I mean, you can't speak to me because I'm new, but for most furries, I feel like it's just, yeah, this is cool. This is an interest of mine. It's not really a lifestyle. I wouldn't say it's a lifestyle. It's not like we're not in like you're not like an actor in the Truman Show where you have to like your whole life is dedicated to you ever whatever off topic, but yeah, um, it's not really a big part of really any furry's life, and the ones that do make it their life are usually content creators who actually get money from social media, and obviously they have to make it more in their lifestyle than a regular furry because like I'm not gonna be constantly wearing my fursuit. It's gonna be wearing that
Mm.
like a week out, maybe 7 days out of the year. I'll have to be using it whatsoever.
Wait, so you do have a fursuit?
Nope, I don't have a fursuit, but if I ever did, I
Oh.
know by heart that
Yeah.
I wouldn't be constantly wearing it. It's
More of just
something
like
you
a,
wouldn't
it's more of just like a
wear.
hobby, right?
It's considered a hobby considering the amount of
Yeah.
time and effort that is put into it.
Okay. So what animal would you like say you are like spiritually then as a furry?
Um, what? Sorry, say that again?
Does furries go into spiritualness?
No, that's Therians.
No, that's the theory thing.
Okay,
Therian,
so
yep.
then you wouldn't identify as like an animal at all. You're saying?
Nope. Same with most furries. And if you identify as an animal, you're a Therian furry, or you're just a Therian. There's
I'm
Therian
sure like
furries. Pretty rare, but they exist.
most of those persona things, most of them are like they're always like dogs, right? Like most of them are dogs. Like
Actually, not mostly dogs.
Like
Honestly, I
foxes,
wolves.
just
right?
love them. It's because the what's it called again? What do you call it? Stock photos. If you look up furry stock photos, they're all dogs
Mhm.
because they're the basic, basic bitch, persona.
Mm.
So it's actually mostly not dogs and canine or whatever. Even wolves, honestly, still majority like other stuff, like knowing people. It's just because that's what turns into fursuits most often. Most people's personas aren't even dogs and all that stuff. It's just what stock photos are like, hey, that's something.
Yeah.
So like, if you were to get a fursuit, which animal would you do?
It's a non. It's a diff. It's a actually it's a furry specific animal. It's called a manokit.
Hmm.
It's like a specific species that derives from a non-existent animal,
I'm gonna pull an image
which
up.
in no way is connected to me. I'm not. I do not feel as if I ever want to conform or anything to that type of animal. It's just a cool thing to say. Hey, yeah. If I were to pick my favorite, it's basically like saying my favorite animal is, and then taking it to another level, which is, yeah, it's you know, it's drawn out. It's in a fursuit form. It's really just saying my favorite animal is, and then going beyond that.
So this is what
Exactly.
so what it'll look
Exactly.
like here.
It's like that because it's like I don't want to get like into technical stuff because that's just kind of like boring and like, oh yeah, I could talk about it all day, but
That's
do
like
I
a
really want
shark
to?
almost. Look at the fins in the back.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah.
That is
But
You
yeah, you
can't
just have
interesting.
to like
you can't
like
be like a or you can't make it like a hippo or this might be a dumb question, but you can't make it like a hippo or anything, right? Because it doesn't have like fur.
you can, but no one really does it. It's like yeah, you can say, oh yeah, well, what if I wanted to be like a friggin' fly? It's like, oh, well, what if? Like who wants to
I,
be that?
I feel like I feel like I might have seen a dragon before though.
Oh yeah, of course, they're everywhere. I'm me personally, yeah,
Oh,
that's me.
that's you.
Yep. Well, that's not mine, but it's a,
That's me. Come on,
that's me. That's a Therian speaking right there. That's me.
man.
What do we mean, bro?
No, that ain't me. That's just my basically favorite animal. But it's not an animal, so I can't really say it's my favorite animal.
Mm.
My
I don't.
favorite animal is a
I'm not even like.
hippo.
What's funny is I'm not even
Oh,
an animal person. Like I'm legit like not an animal person.
That's interesting. You don't have any pets?
I do have pets, but as soon as I move out, I don't want pets, man. They're a hassle.
That's fair. What pets?
Two? No, three. Three cats.
three cats.
That's cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I want a cat one day.
Yep.
Just like Curbs.
Yeah, I have a cat, two dogs, and two guinea pigs. So
Oh
I
my
think I have too
god.
many
The
pets.
whole armada,
Say
bro.
that again.
I have too many pets, bro.
What was that third animal? What?
Guinea pig.
Oh, guinea pig.
Does anybody make themselves a guinea pig? I feel like that's sort of just like not that cool of an animal.
I don't know, honestly. Like, it's like a what if thing. It's like, well, what if my Sona was a friggin' like hippo dinosaur? It's like, well, it's stupid. But
Yeah,
no one does that. So it's not like you can
yeah.
say what if all day. Like, what if I don't know. Just
I
yeah.
just want to know if
Don't
you
think.
knew like anybody that did had like a guinea pig one, because they're like more furry than like a hippo.
Yeah, I'm still not technical on that because I can't really. I mean, yeah,
So you're part of this
basically.
furry community. Do you know of any like people that are some interesting animals they cosplay as?
Again, I do not. I know a few people with fursuits. Very few, surprisingly. I know probably about 100 furries by name, not by name, but by like if you told me like, hey, you know that one dude? Yeah, like yeah, but I don't know. Like I can't recite their names, but yeah. So
What do you think is the most like interesting animal you've seen someone have? Like the most unique?
Yeah, we're still staying within that ballpark of species. Someone had. I think that honestly, it's still cool as hell. A bee one.
A bee? Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're
Like
actually
like
kind of fuzzy though.
A bee.
But it's not like
But
a bee you like. It's not like a bee you would think of. It's like a mix of like three other species, but it's got that bee pattern, and it's probably got something similar. But it's like you can't really say it's one species because it really isn't. As soon as you anthropomorphize it.
yeah, the more I hear about it, the more it sounds to me kind of like OC creation, except like it's just with animals.
Thank you, OCs. Yeah,
I just think of the bee
they're literally.
movie every time I think of bees.
Yeah.
I can't think of bees without thinking about that.
Barry
You
B was
can.
someone's like
It's an
furry
iconic.
OC.
Somebody's gonna cosplay as that.
I wouldn't say. You know what's funny is most of the time they're like I said, like most furries don't even own a fursuit. Most furries don't own a fursuit,
Yeah,
especially
'cause like
minors, which are a big majority to the fandom. So, they don't own like I'm a minor, so I don't own a fursuit, and so it's mostly just like, hey, I have this cool OC. That's about it. I haven't really had
yeah.
plans to turn it into a fursuit, and most likely won't, according to studies. So it's like that would look dumb as a fursuit.
Wait,
Like
wait,
yeah, it probably would.
who's studying that?
Studying what?
Like the amount of people who like own a fursuit.
Uh, Fur Science is a great website. It's one website.
Fur.
It's basically just where I get my information, and it's pretty source credible because it's like, well, it's literally dedicated to these fandoms specifically.
I
So
mean, I guess yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, probably not that you all you have to do is like get like a survey.
uh-huh. Survey.
That's the
I think they
important
survey.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what discrimination have you faced, if any?
Oh God, it's mostly stuff that I've like not brought to myself, but it's mostly stuff where it's like I've come online. I guess that's really about it. Like, hey, I'm online. I changed my profile picture immediately, but like it's not like it's something like most people come at it as an angle of like, yeah, I'm bored. I'm just gonna do it because I'm bored. It's hilarious, honestly. You can do that with anyone, but obviously you're gonna go to the Discord. Everyone's like, yeah, man, there's a bunch of cringe people on there, and it's actually hilarious when they come on expecting to like see a bunch of people spamming NSFW, and it's just like the most wholesome community ever. They're just
Yeah,
like, oh man, where's the stuff? Where's the NSFW at? It's like, oh man, you're looking in the wrong place. This Discord has 40,000 members, and not a single one is here for that because it's a strictly no NSFW server, and I'm in about almost all of them. I'm in basically every furry Discord, and I would say every single one, not without a doubt, is SFW.
yeah. Some like some people just let a couple like bad members of a community like define the whole community.
Oh yeah,
You know.
easy peasy. Yeah, especially if you're not someone, if you especially if you're not a furry and you even have the slightest glimpse of like, oh yeah, that's a weird thing. You're gonna look for the negative side. You're not gonna look at the positive side. And that's just natural. I did the same thing when I wasn't a furry, except I didn't actively hate. I was just like, yeah, man, this is cringe. And then 2 years later, I don't find this cringe
Like,
anymore.
'cause most of the shit that gets talked about is always like nobody wants to talk about like it's like not that
Yeah,
bad. Like
like
they
oh,
only
that
want to
one
talk
dude.
about
You
negative.
remember that one dude? He like I don't want to go into it's horrible, but there's like an incident where like a guy like did something horrible, and it's like that's one account. You're talking to hundreds of thousands of individuals who are self-proclaimed as this in this fandom. So if it's like you gonna like say, hey, look at this one bad thing that happened last year. It's like, oh, look at all the 10,000 great things that happened this year, where the FurCons went successful and they didn't have any problems whatsoever.
Mm.
But it's like, oh well, remember Rainforest 2015? That was a horrible like fucking FurCon. That was horrible, and that was like the first one in years. So it was like just it was an awful time, honestly, for everyone. But they got shut down because people are sane and they know to shut down shit when it's
Didn't that have like
getting
something
like
to do
that.
with diapers? I think I've heard about that.
Oh god, Diaperfurries, yeah, those are fucking weird. Everyone knows they're weird. We make fun of them. In fact, we just we literally they're literally on the server. You can't even say diaper fur without getting fucking muted for 7 days.
That's
I,
actually kind of funny.
I've seen people try to be like, yeah, I hate diaper fur. Say the word and then get muted for 7 days.
Um,
False.
I'm not aware of this.
Yeah, I'm
No,
sorry.
I
It's
heard
not.
I heard about it.
God, it's the
Like
same
I don't know. There's
thing.
just like some diaper thing.
Listen,
That's
it's
that's what I hear. That's what
oh,
I hear about. See, all you really hear is like the negative side.
that is true. Well, there is basically it's mostly negative side. I'm not gonna lie, but it's the same
Mhm.
thing as adults who think that they're literal children, except it is a smaller group because they are furries, and furries are a less populated group, and there are a lot more individuals who aren't furries who think that they are children than furry, or not think that they're children, but act like children and do all that stuff. You can even think you're a child. There's some mental disabilities that make you think or revert to a child, mostly through trauma and that stuff. Yeah, some people just,
Okay.
have to go back to like a child. It's a horrible thing, and
The
just
real
some
people
people are like,
to yeah, go on.
yeah, it's really bad when you think about it. It's like you're literally going back to the mental state of a child, and they can't help it because they're nothing. It's just trauma, and things hurt. Like they are hurt, and they don't know how to deal with it, so they cope by acting like a child, and it's really sad. It really isn't. It really is a sad problem to have, and it's depressing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real people to fear here are not the furries. It's the people, the bad people within the furry, like
It really is, and I'm not
the
going to deny the fact.
scandals,
Oh yeah,
the
there's barely anyone. Everyone here is a saint. No, there's some shitty people here. There's a lot of crappy people here.
No, but I feel like you could say that about like a lot of communities. Like the Minecraft community has an abnormally like large amount of like pedophiles, but
So
like
true, so true.
that doesn't
Honestly.
mean
oh
like every
yeah.
Minecraft player is like a pedophile.
And is the furry bad side bigger? I can't really say because I don't know everyone, but from what I have seen and what I have witnessed online firsthand, I can tell you that the fandom is very welcoming as long as you aren't coming in as someone who isn't there for positive. Because people are like, "Wow, I just got backlash. I got muted from a furry server. They're so sensitive." Oh, and I was like, "What did you do?" And they're like, "Oh man, I spammed the N word. I wonder why they muted me." And it's like, it's a dumb example, but it's basically the same thing as that. It's like, "Oh man, I asked why you identify as animals. I assumed that you guys cosplay as animals because you want to be animals. I wonder why I didn't get welcomed with open arms. Like it's
How
really
dare
all
you assume me?
not assuming, especially when it's someone who is uneducated. God, yeah, I guess it is assuming, but it's not really. No
Yeah.
one really gets offended. It's just awkward, and no one really wants that around. So just like, whatever. Because people act like a mute is such like they went out of their way to do it. Like, dude, all we had to do is right click on your profile and just click mute. Time period, 7 days, done. You're out of the way. It's not like we are like, oh, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna go write a whole memoir on how I hate how you just called us animals. Like, no, it's just a quick mute. And then they try and glorify it, like, oh man, I got muted by 7 servers today. I'm such a Sigma or whatever they say. I don't know. It's it's hilarious, honestly. It's honestly rehashing it and speaking outward about it. Hilarious. It really is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dear that. So what do you have any specific examples that you've faced discrimination? Do you have like a memory?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, specific examples. Well, our server gets. I don't want to say our server because I have no staff abilities in it. But like the server I'm in, the server I'm active in, because I'm active in one, I believe, just one. That's about it. The rest are just for stickers and all that stuff, and stuff. I guess a specific example. I'm trying to think really hard here. A good example is like just people coming in and they'll literally set their profile picture, and it's not even like because I feel like it's not as like you want specific examples, right? Like of like
mhm.
hate. I guess just
No, yeah.
like
I mean, I guess like discrimination, hate goes like hand
Yeah.
in hand.
assuming we're animals, assuming that the only reason we're here is for NSFW and not to express ourselves in a way that some people don't. I'm not even express ourselves. Dude, it's literally just an artistic form. I'm saying express ourselves in a sense that it's something different than just normally being like, I'm good at art. Hey, I'm good at making costumes. It's literally the same thing, except I'm talking about it and glorifying it, but I'm not. I really don't want to feel like I'm trying to be like, oh man, we're superior. Our form of expression is superior. It's not. But yeah, so specific examples is just people being people and not really seeing a good side because who wants to? Who wants to see a good side when all they've been taught on social media and all that is that furries are cringe, which, oh, hell yeah. You know what? If you don't like fursuits, whatever. Okay, that's not your thing. That's fine. It doesn't have to be your thing, but it's just I can't really think of anything specific that isn't just tossed in with the whole stereotype thing. I guess anti-furries, those exist. That's
What?
Those
What
exist.
is that? Are they just like they're
They are
more
just
human?
self-proclaimed idiots. I'm serious. I don't want to piss off the anti-furry community because y'all are fine. Most y'all are fine, but some of y'all need to take a chill pill because y'all will come on and then just spam all these slurs. Like I don't know how you guys. Some of y'all can bypass the filters, and it's crazy how like much you guys want. Like I don't know if it's attention. I don't know if it's like you, because like y'all are just a laughing stock. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When you guys leave, when you guys get muted or anything, I don't say okay. I'm seeing you guys like most of you guys are somehow like doing this, but it's some of you guys. Like when an anti-furry comes on and then gets like and starts spamming and all that stuff, or a bunch of people start spamming, you just quick mute, and then they act like they've caused some trauma in the community. Like we're not like, oh God, oh they got us. They spammed in our chat logs that we can easily just delete. It's like it really just shows that they're not really there just to be like, yeah, I'm against this bad group. It's more like, hey, I found this group that I can easily bully or easily call myself. It's really complicated, honestly. I honestly don't even understand it myself, and I've studied you guys for like 2 months. If any anti-furries are listening to this podcast, probably, but you know, I don't hate
So
on anti-furries. I don't hate anti-furries. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all are fine.
they
Y'all are chill.
discriminate you the most, you would say?
Well, I mean, there's it's kind of in the name.
With their name
Yeah.
alone,
Oh yeah.
like
Their
anti-furry. Oh, y'all are
name.
cool. Though I do love seeing TikTok comments where an anti-furry logo guy will just start saying like, "Oh, I love that fursuit." It's like there's this thing that exists
Yeah,
and it's very
that's
real. It's called the anti-furry pipeline, and if and I'm probably just gonna ruin a bunch of possible furries who are anti-furries with saying this, but y'all have more of a chance of becoming furries than non-furries who aren't anti-furries do. You guys making your whole personality online, changing your profile picture, making your Discord bio furry hunter 0.627, I don't know, whatever you guys, it's a thing. And it's like y'all are just making your entire online presence about you hating on a group of individuals who don't even know or even care about your existence until you guys make yourself known, which I feel like is the whole point. It's like, hey, we exist, we hate you. And it's like y'all are gonna become y'all have more of a chance of becoming furries just due to the fact that you make your whole personality hating them. You're gonna discover more furry stuff the more you hate, the more you look up PNG images, copy and paste, talking about all that crap or whatever. It's hilarious because it is true. It's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why like some people would like not like be fond of it,
Yeah,
but
completely valid.
like going out of your way to like just like do all that just seems like a little much.
It's it's hilarious though, because like I'll see someone try to spam or actually get like an actual argument. I have been argued with many times by someone, and the only time that I have submitted defeat isn't even an anti-furry. It was someone being like, "Yeah, man, there's a lot more like furry NSFW than there should be," and I was like, "You're right." That's the only time someone's actually been reasonable enough to be like, "Yeah, man, I know there's a really good side, and I know there's a good side, but like, there's way too much of it." And I'm like, I agree, because I do agree. I agree 100%. There's way too much of that stuff, but then again, there's way too much normal NSFW that isn't furry stuff. And it's like you got to throw everything out at once. You can't just hate on one group for making that type of stuff when the entire every fan base makes something like that. And you got to talk about how there's mixes like video games, how there's some animal characters and there's some non-animal characters. And it's like you got to throw everything out at once. You can't just hit on one group because of some certain thing that you have disagreed on. I honestly it's like it's just yeah, it really is hard, but
wow.
I understand honestly some of the questionable parts of it. And if you hate those parts, you're completely fine. But you just can't hate on everyone. You can't assume everyone is out to not out to get you, but out to like do those things, the things that you don't know that most of the free community doesn't do. Also, can I get some water? I'll be right back.
Yeah,
You
sure.
may.
All right, thank you.
Classic Trio water break. I'm gonna go get some water curbs.
Man, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on to eat water.
Guess you're by yourself.
I guess I am.
That's a good drink. Mm.
Alright, I'm back.
Fresh from the Easter water.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah.
The holy water?
Straight from the egg.
Yep.
What the fuck are you drinking water out of?
Anyway, well, we were talking about discrimination. You know.
Yep. Discrimination. I think I pretty much finished that topic, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we.
Is there any
finished.
abnormal habits that a furry would have?
Not more than anyone else, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
whoever
really.
made this set list was interesting.
Okay,
no,
well,
you know,
I asked that question like
Are there any
before being
tendencies? Are there any
informed,
tendencies?
like
Do you ever
about
get
like.
the urge to, do you ever get the urge to walk on all fours? It's like this guy made a Therian list. Y'all should have got a Therian on here.
You ever get
Yeah, you
tendency?
know what? All right, you know what? I'll be honest. I didn't really know that much of a difference, but you know what? I'm learning.
Yeah, we all need to learn. I learned personally.
There's too much hate, man.
There's too much hate in the world, period. So it's like, oh, yeah, there's too much hate in the world, just in general. But like, obviously when you have a group is like, yeah, man, I don't like. Well, I don't like. I like to like dress up as like an animal, dude. My favorite animal or something. I don't know. And I say that without like using the emphasis anthropomorphize. Like literally, they're not like walking around on all fours in a dog costume. It's literally like Mickey Mouse. Just imagine Mickey Mouse walking around, and that's literally what a furry is. Except it looks a lot more detailed, and it's not uncanny most of the time. Except for those ugly fucking stock photos that Anti-Furries use. Like, look at that ugly fursuit. And it's some fursuit from like the 1980s crafted by like one dude who had no talent whatsoever.
1980s? That's how far.
Yeah, they were furries back then. You do not look up the first. Oh my god, they look so bad. I mean, you can, but like, look up 80s fursuits. They're so bad. They're just like.
Kind of curious. I thought this was more of like a modern like internet kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's not. Technically, it's modern. So yeah, technically it is pretty modern. But yeah, they are very ugly. Holy crap! I can even admit they're extremely ugly. There's some good ones, but obviously, considering that there weren't that many furries back then, that means there weren't that many super talented people. There were people who were like, "Yeah, I'm a furry," but they had no. Because like, I can just call up a fursuit and say, "Hey, make me a fursuit for $3,000. Let's get this started." Back then, it was like you had to do it yourself. You had like 3 people who you knew who were maybe furries, and it was a lot harder back then. So, and now it's a lot more accessible. So, that really is the major difference.
I like them 80s
Yeah.
fursuit. I just got like a bunch of fursuits that are like 80s rock themed.
A good thing, honestly. Let's go. Let's go. Get him out of here. But yeah, it's not.
There's no abnormal habits, guys. It's
Yeah, normal habits. I don't know about Therians though. Y'all got to control your. Oh, what is it called again? Oh, they're friggin'. They have like a word for it. It's called like a friggin' shift. Yeah, shift. A Therian shift. And you feel like your inner alpha is. Oh my god, it's so cringe. Oh my god. Oh, so bad. Oh yeah, I don't hate Therians. Therians, y'all are alright. Y'all are fine. It's just oh my god, like the shifts or something. I saw like I don't want to like yeah. It's just.
okay. Well, what do you do in your daily lives?
I don't want to just. I mean, it's normal stuff.
Yeah.
School, get home. Okay, I don't do homework. I don't really do homework, but
You don't do your homework?
I do it. Okay, this is getting so like, what do you do daily? Yeah, man, I skip my homework.
Oh, that's like part of my schedule.
Homework.
Like I intentionally skip it.
No, I don't intentionally skip homework. I just don't have much of it. This is off topic as hell.
Yeah, but my bubble intentionally skips it.
Normal life, to be honest.
What are you talking about? The teacher went around. She checked the homework, and then
Oh,
she's like,
okay,
"Curbs,
buddy.
curbs.
No, that
Let me check you,
happened
curves." She said out
And
straight out.
And I doubt the teacher
Nah.
called me curves.
She was like, "Hey, curves, let me
Called you
check
what?
your paper." And look at that, it's
Curves,
blank.
Curves,
Call you by your
famous
gamer name?
podcast. Yo, my teacher calls me by my gamer tag. I'm fucking leaving the class.
Kurt, I saw your podcast.
Yo, yeah, I'm leaving. Then.
I tapped into your. Oh, whoa.
What would your teacher think if you were a furry?
I don't think. I feel like most teachers wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah, that's true. That's scary because they're gonna think of that one CSI episode. Oh my god. Yeah, there's like a CSI episode. I think every every furry and their mom being on. Okay, that's not every furry ever who's been on a podcast has explained this. And there's a CSI episode from like the 19. I think this was like the early 2000s, maybe even 90s. Like I said, early furry shit, where there was like a scene where they made like the worst type of intro to the episode. They were showing like a bunch of horribly crafted fursuits and like this group gathering. I was like, they made it seem like some sort of cult. And yeah, I don't want to go into detail about what happens, but it's horrible, and it really made the furry fandom look good. It looked bad, and it was really just kind of like, and that's what parents watch. Parents watch CSI. You ask your parents if they ever watch CSI, they watch that shit. And if you ask them, did they get to later seasons, and they say yes, they've probably seen that furry episode, and yeah. And if they don't remember it, good thing. But yeah, it really didn't look good for the fandom, honestly, and it never looks good.
Right.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's whatever, because obviously any creator could make a scene making any group look bad if you have enough money. And obviously
Yeah.
CSI gets their bag off of basically just being like, here, this is what happens. These are some cultural relevancies that are occurring in our world. And it was so funny because like during that time, literally no one was a furry. It was so ironic that they made that episode during a time when literally no one even like was furry, bro. It was so funny.
You sort of jumped the gun a little bit.
Which sucks though, because everyone was like, "Oh, if your son ever was like, yeah, man, I'm interested in that type of stuff," it really made it that much harder to become part of that. So that's why it took a couple more years than it should have. Like all medias, not even just CSI. CSI was just the first of many. Yeah,
So
that's about it in terms of like. Oh, yeah. Continue.
Well, I'm just curious. Is there anything that you would like to point out in particular to tell people about what you do as a furry?
Question like 5 times.
I'm more artistic than the average non-furry.
I get wrecked, non-furry.
I mean, I'm not even trying to say like, furries more creative. It's just that you have more of a group that you're around that are creative. So I guess that's really one of like the major like differences in furries and non-furries. It's just like we're more of like a saying creative group sounds like I'm so like saying it's like some sort of like amazing like artistic group. But yeah, it's a lot more of a creative mindseted group, especially when it comes to like really anything, honestly, considering what the definition of it is.
Right.
Like the whole is to be animated. The whole point is to not be animal like, which is why like people confuse like Therians and furries.
It's the exact
We
opposite.
don't want to be.
No, yeah.
We don't want to be animals, let alone.
Next episode, or like one of the next episodes, we gotta get one of them Therians on.
You should. Like, I don't know any Therians because it's yeah.
Ask if they eat like kibble out of like a bowl.
We should
or
make
something.
a whole furry series. We get a furry versus Therian. We have a Therian by itself.
Oh yeah, we could get them to like debate or something.
Debate what though? I'm trying to think of.
See, that's the thing. We have like a debate series on our channel where we get people to like debate topics, but I guess you can't really debate.
You know what? That would be hilarious. You get an anti-furry here.
Oh yeah, furry, anti-furry.
Oh my god, dude! Okay. Don't get like. Because like there's
we actually once did something similar where we got a trans person debating like a person who like doesn't like trans people.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
that was fun.
I mean, I would win. I wouldn't, because there's some people who are just genuinely like, yeah, I'm an anti-furry, but I'm only against the bad side of the fandom. You got to get someone who doesn't like a single furry, and not just, yeah, I hate the furries that are bad. Like
that's better for views or entertainment or something.
Yeah, you got to get a furry or an anti-furry that hates all furries and has no exceptions. Like, unless you're like, I heard this one guy who was like, yeah, man, I know like 10 furries. And it's like, the one dude, like one of them was good. It's like, the rest are horrible. It's like, do you know like who they were? It's like, yeah, they were my best friend. I'm like, yeah, I wonder why they were the only furry you liked. Maybe it's because you guys were friends. You couldn't handle the fact of breaking up over the fact that your friend was a furry. Like, it's a coincidence. Like, come on.
Well, I think I think stay tuned for the anti-furry episode. Yeah,
I would actually do that. Yeah.
I'm actually happy we did this. I actually learned something.
Yeah. More than really well, honestly.
I learned more than in school. I learned Yeah, so here at the Treeo, we learn stuff. So keep on listening.
Yep.
This is like the truth behind furries. This is like the truth behind Trident and furries on the same day. You guys get
Yep.
two great
Oh,
Oh yeah,
truths.
true. Because the Trident documentary's coming out.
Meh. Who knows?
So
What was I gonna say? Yeah.
yeah, Curbs.
We should make the title like really clickbaity, like the truth behind furries.
This is the truth.
The people got this wrong about furries.
I'm thinking like, oh
Big
man,
red
I
circle.
got it. It was cringe. Everyone will click on that. If you make the title, I interviewed a furry and just put like a PNG image of like a cringe furry. Everyone's gonna click on it, honestly.
All right, well, we're gonna do that. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Any final thoughts?
No.
Pink Floyd's the best band. I don't care, hands down.
Furries listen to Pink Floyd.
We're gonna take one guy as an entire fandom.
Yep.
and now Pink Floyd is just anonymous with furries.
You've
'cause
heard it
that
here,
one
folks.
guy.
All furries listen to Pink Floyd.
So yeah,
I
thank
wouldn't
you
mind that
guys.
stereotype.
Now you got me doing the folks thing, like we're on a fucking radio show.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching, and Curbs, have a good night.
Tune in next time.
Have a good Easter.
good
I hope
night.
you all hunted eggs or something.
Don't kill rabbits, though.
I like rabbits.
I don't think anyone does that on Easter, but in case you were thinking about it, don't do it.
It's
Yeah,
not
some
Thanksgiving.
satanic couple does. Some satanic couple.
Yeah, they use it to like sacrifice or something.
Wild.
Is there a furry religion?
Nope.
What?
All right, thank you guys for watching, and
No,
have a
it's
good night.
profanity. It's profanity. Ah.
Say the line again.
Have a good night. I'm just gonna have to say my line twice.
Buy our merch, link in bio.
Unprofessional.
Have a good night again.
Worst podcast ever. Have a good night. I've had to say 3 fucking times.
Well, folks, thanks for joining us again. Another week, another episode of the Treeo podcast. As every week, next week's going to be a good one, so stay tuned, smash like below. Let's have some plugs before we end this video. Go check out our guest's TikTok, link in the description. I'm sure he makes great content, maybe furry, maybe not. Go check out our merch, linked down below. It's Have a Good Night merch, and it's just the best merch. There's so much good merch there, you're going to love it. Check out the Treeo TikTok, we make good videos. Check out the Trident documentary, it is brand new, and that's basically it. Thank you for watching, and have a furry night. Or should I say, a Easter night. Or should I say, a good night. Have a good night.